There's quite a lot of discontent around the Pokemon market at the minute, mainly around Pokemon investing, mainly coming from new people who haven't been here for too long, thinking that the market is weakening, the prices are dropping, everything's going to go down, everything's going to fall, or everything is already falling or going down. And I want to do a quick video here today just to kind of dispel that really. So what I've got here and what I'm going to go through today is three main points. What is causing this discontent in the market? And it's really clear to see what I'm going to show you in a moment. I'm going to show you the real strength of the Pokemon market and what it actually looks like to show that it's not cooling off and that we're still in a really strong position. And then we're going to look at the Google Trends graph and show why, if you're a real investor and you're really holding for over 5 years and that kind of thing into the long distance, why you've got absolutely nothing to worry about, no matter what price you've bought in at recently. So hopefully I can calm a lot of nerves here, chill people out and make you realize that we're actually in a good place. And if you are prepared to hold for the long term, you're going to be absolutely fine. So let's get into it. So on the screen here, what I've created is some trend reports, which is one of the features on Pulse TCG on the investor level tier, which is what I've got. And by the way, if you want to try that out, you can use code CAL at checkout to get your first month for free. So please, if you do try it, please use code CAL. I'd really appreciate that. But anyway, here, what I've done is I've created these trend reports, and what these are is I've done them per block. So we've got block G, and I'm just looking at the regular ETBs because every set has a regular ETB. They're always printed to a good amount. It's kind of like the staple, and it shows a good price trend for the set as a whole. So the block G, regular ETBs, and block G includes 151, Paldean Fates, Obsidian Flames, Paldea Evolved, Paradox Rift, and Scarlet Violet Base. Okay, so that's what's in your block G. Then we've got block H, which includes Prismatic, Shrouded, Stellar, Surging, Temporal, and Twilight. And then we've got block I, not quite the newest block. Block J is the newest block, but that's not complete yet. So in block I, you've got Ascended, Black Bolt, and White Flare, Destined Rivals, Journey Together, Mega Evo, Base, and Phantasmal Flames. Now, the sets that have got like two Elite Trainer boxes, I've just put one of them in because I don't want the graphs to be too messy. The reason I've included them per block is because when a set goes out of rotation by its block, it can increase the prices. I think it's quite interesting to track them per block. I've not really seen anyone else online doing this. But what I want to get at here to show where this discontent is coming from is there's so many new people in the hobby. We all know that. It's full of them. They see the trends online. They see people making loads of money and they jump in when it's hot. And if you jumped in earlier this year and you bought a 151 Elite Trainer box at its peak, and when people don't know what they're doing, they dive on the trend too late once it's already ran up, and at its peak, you've not really seen any gains. It's gone down slightly. Same can be said for Prismatic. You've bought at the peak hype of the market, or you've bought on the way up, and since then it's trended down, obviously because it's had reprints, restocks, that kind of thing. Very popular set. The popular sets are more subject to the reprints and restocks. Or you jumped in on the Ascended Heroes hype, which is the pink line here, or the Destined Rivals hype, which is the red line. They ran up really, really, really high, and since their high points, they've just drifted down, and you're down on your money now. And that's because these sets, again, they're popular, they've had reprints, or they've not had them yet, or they're just overinflated because of general market hype. The discontent that you see online comes from the people who are new in the hobby, who bought in at these peak times and are now posting things saying, Pokemon investing is not worth it anymore because my Prismatic box has gone down, or my Destined Rivals box has gone down, or my Ascended box has gone down. You can see where I'm going with this, okay? That's where the general discontent comes from. And obviously people who've been in the scene for much longer and the serious investors, they might have high positions in these sets as well, so they've not seen many gains. But there's something really interesting here between the blocks. This block G, went out of rotation in April, and this is where we've seen the jump in 151. But you look at the other sets underneath it, which, sorry, 151 was the set that got all the hype and all the attention in and drew people in. But all the other sets in this block, have they dropped since then? Doesn't look like it, does it? They've all actually just carried on along at the same rate, and a couple of them have even ticked up here. So Paldean Fate, that's ticked up slightly. The rest of them just been steady. Where's the cool off in the market there? There isn't one. There's not a cool off, nothing's fallen, just steady. More interesting for me is in block H, where you've got your Surgings and your Twilights. Prismatic, yes, has come down because it's been subject to reprints. But you go back to last Christmas, every single ETB from Block H, look at that trend. They're all going up and still going up to this day. Is that a weak market? Is the market falling apart? Is it going down? Not at all. The only ones that are going down that are the ones that had the big hype, the big trends. They brought all the outsider people in. They bought those ones, and now those have gone down a little bit. If you bought any of these sets down here when Prismatic was at its peak, you would have made more money off these sets than you would have Prismatic. Well, I'm talking about the ETBs here in particular, which is kind of crazy, but it just shows that the market is strong. These less desirable boxes or sets, even though Surging and Twilight, they're still decent. They've just crept up the whole way along. That is not a weak market. That is not a weak investing market whatsoever. And then we go into the Block I, the more recent one. Exactly the same again. Look, since last Christmas, all the lesser sets in this block, so you've got Black Bolt in there, Journey Together, Phantasmal Flames, Mega Evo. By the way, they're all good sets. They've just constantly gone up, 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 up. Again, it's a sign of a strong market. So apart from 151, Ascended, Destined, and Prismatic, which are like your big S tier sets, which get all the eyes on them, all the hangers on jump onto them, they buy those products. They've gone down. The rest have all gone up. This is not a weak Pokemon market, not at all. But you can clearly see here where the discontent is coming from. The amount of, you can call them the sneakerheads, the crypto bros, the people who don't really know about Pokemon, but they're just trying to make some quick money. They come in, they buy these big sets when they see them trending up, and then all of a sudden they've gone down a bit, and they're going, the Pokemon market's coming down, the Pokemon market's coming down, it's all terrible. I'm sorry, look at these lines. The Pokemon market is strong. Now, we're going to move over to the Google Trends graph now, because there's a couple of points on here that I wanted to make. If you are seriously into Pokemon investing, you should treat it like normal investing. It's not a quick flip. It's not a quick buck. I know it has been during these spiky runs here, but if you're a true investor, you have to treat it like a stock market. You buy in when you feel comfortable at buying in at a price you're comfortable with, and you see it out for those 5 to 10 years or more even. And if it goes down, you dollar cost average in. If you bought your, we'll just quickly flip back, your Prismatic ETB at 180 at the high point, you don't whinge and moan that it's going down. You then buy another one at 130, and then all of a sudden you've got two at dollar cost average of 150, which then sounds really healthy, doesn't it? Much better than just sitting on your one at 180. And then when the price of those two does start to go back up again, you make even more money because you've got more of them. So a true investor doesn't panic when things go down. They're prepared to hold for the long term because they believe in the product or the set. And if it does go down, they see it as a buying opportunity. What I want to look at here is if you are new to it and you do want to hold for 5 years, this is the Google Trend graph going back to 2019. Okay, the first spike here, Logan Paul came in and pumped it, but then it drifted down again. Then you had another spike here, August 2022. I've not been able to find out what that spike is from. The only set that released was a McDonald's set, so I'm not sure it was that, but maybe it was Evolving Skies prices going up, spiked it. Then Scott and Violet came out and everything drifted down again. Then it had another high, so we've got a new high here, all-time high. Then another all-time high, then another one. And what I'm getting at here is we are going to have peaks and troughs. It is going to come down, the general interest in Pokemon, from this May 2026 point. It's already coming down. When we get into Gen 10 next year, you could see this flattening here again, but it won't flatten as low as what it was here. It makes higher lows. Stock market terminology again. Your next low point will probably be in line with here, and then eventually the hype will come back in after, you know, Gen 10 comes out, and then there'll be a new specialty set like a Gen 2 remake or whatever, something like that, and it will spike again, and then all the money will come flooding back into the Scarlet and Violet sets, and then eventually the Mega Evolution sets like we've seen with Sword and Shield. So if you are buying in now at this high point in the general market interest and things are quite expensive, just brace yourself that it could come down like we've seen the market do. And if we flick this back to like just all time, this gives me so much confidence because, okay, it did trend down for quite a while over here, but since it started to pick up, since Pokemon Go, it keeps making new highs all the time. And trends like this, repeatable patterns, is what gives you confidence when you're investing. The fact that it keeps making new highs, okay, this is a really, really high one here. It's going to come down maybe around here again. It could settle, but it's going to be higher than these previous points. There's too much hype, too much money, too much interest in the market to completely flatline it again. And even though the new printing facility may come out and they may print the newest sets into the ground, the ones that we're buying at the moment, your Scarlet and Violets, your Mega Evos, they're not going to be affected by it. So they're still going to be more scarce, be more desirable, and your money's going to be safe tucked up in them. So it was just a really interesting point to kind of like dispel all these naysayers saying that the Pokemon market is falling and Pokemon investing is not worth it anymore. To all you people, I just say, look at the data, look at the numbers, and just like, look at this. This is just going up. Your big set that you bought in at in all the hype has gone down a bit, yes, but buy some more. But look how strong all the other sets are. Look how steady these ones are. Look how strong all the other sets in the I block are. This is a really healthy Pokemon investing market at the moment. And this Google Trends graph should give you that confidence that, okay, it may dip, but if you're truly in it and you're a true investor for the next 5 years or so, it will pick up again. It will find a new high. And everything that you're buying at the moment, if it does dip, you can pick up more dollar cost average in, bring your average price down a little bit. And then when it does spike again in a year or 2 or 3 years time, you're just going to be quids in, aren't you? You're going to have won the game. And that's what it's all about. Waiting for that moment. And then when it does blow up again, cash in, bang, I've completed Pokemon, or completed Pokemon investing. That's all what we all want, isn't it, out of this at the end of the day? So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. It was just a little look at some of the data, understanding why people are complaining, why the market isn't weak or falling, and looking at why you can be confident in knowing that if it does dip, we will find a new all-time high eventually. So if you enjoy this kind of Pokemon investing content and the market analytics and all that kind of stuff, I'm Cal, this is Cal's PokeMart. Please drop a like and a subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.